Hello everyone. So today inshallah we're gonna continue on the reflection of Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. We're gonna continue from ayah number 55 and we're gonna complete the story that we started before Ramadan. I think we started to reflecting and the stories. Wa alaikum assalam. Hi. Wa alaikum assalam. Hi. So we're gonna continue in the ayah number 55 of Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, and we will discuss also different type of psychological aspect of the phases of the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. We discuss many parts of his life when we started from his struggle or the conflict that he had with his brothers, and then when he went to went to Egypt with Al Aziz house, and then he was accused, and then he was imprisoned, and now we reach to the point of the story where um, they ask him to do interpretation of the dream of the king of the Egypt there, and then after he helped them with the gift that Allah has given him, he started to see the reward through all of the struggles that he went through. Now we'll see the part that where Allah rewards Yusuf alayhi salam for his patience, and what type of stories that we can get in. So for the one who doesn't know, this type of series we go through more of we're not doing tafsir, we're not doing mainly reflection or tadabbur and tafakkur, and reflected in our lifestyle. So how the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and different story of different prophets, how we can use it and learn from it on a different situation that we go through our lifestyle. So a plus that we try to discuss different type of psychological pattern or situation that might the prophet went through, or the wisdom behind the story, why Allah is trying to tell us these type of stories with these certain details, and from that we can apply it or benefit it from the daily situation we go through in our relationships, in our workplace, and different type of situation. We see how we can reflect and connect all of that together in our lifestyle. Okay, so let's see. 1 second. Okay, so after Yusuf alayhi salam give them the meaning, or what is the meaning behind the dream that the king dreamed, and he told them that you were gonna have 7 years that you're gonna plant, and you need to save whatever you're planting, because after that you're gonna have 7 difficult years, and that's why you will use what you have stored from the previous 7 years, and then after that you will have a year that you will get rain and everything is going to be much better economically, or regarding food and the things that you plant, it's going to be much better. So after the king know that, okay, this guy really know too much, this person can really benefit me, so he asked him to meet him, and then we can see in the previous ayah, وقال الملك ائتوني به أستخلصه لنفسي. So the king told them, bring him to me, I will employ him, or أستخلصه is more of like I will make him more for me. So I will try to make him special, like working toward me, because I can see that he has special characteristic that he could be very beneficial for me, especially that the coming years is going to be difficult regarding on the country wise, regarding economically and so on. So he felt that he had this kind of wisdom and good management. That's why he told him, okay, I want to hire him and to be just closer to me regarding like managing the country issues. Okay. And then he told him, قال إنك اليوم لدينا مكين أمين. That today, كلمه, today you have your own place. Makin is coming from makan, which is place. When you got your place in you are having this power on this place, so you're called makin. That you have charge of whatever places you are in. That means you have this kind of power, or let's say authority. Amin, that means you're honest. I mean, it's like we can sense that you will be trustful to handle all the situation of the country or the economic situation to hire you as a minister, for example. Okay, then in the other ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. Okay, so he told him, as we mentioned in the previous sessions, that he asked him to hire him or to put him in a position that he is in charge for the saves of the ard. Ard here he is mentioning or he's referring to Egypt. But in general, he told him like, make me the minister, let's say, that's in charge for the financial department, let's say, in this country. So, and then he told him, Inni hafidun alim. Hafid is that means the one who's trustful, who keep the things that he is in charge for. Alim, that means I'm very aware or I have enough knowledge to be able to do the management of this type of financial stuff. So again, here we talked about how is it important for a person that when you know that you have this type of quality, you know you have positive qualities or a certain type of characteristic in your personality, it's important to honor it. It's important to be proud of it. It's important to acknowledge it and not feeling ashamed or let's say humble. And unfortunately, some people use humbling as a way, let's say, you don't need to see the good qualities you have because other people might see you as an arrogant or so on. But this is totally wrong because if you have a good quality and your intention is not to brag about it, your intention is not to have arrogance or seeing yourself superior to other people, then why not admit it? And this is what we call in business wise, they call it how to market yourself, how to do good marketing of yourself. And this is what people do during job interviews and trying to apply for different positions. You need to have that type of skill or learn how to market yourself, how to tell the people what type of things you can benefit them with, what type of things you are good at. So this type of thing is very, very important to be able to be well spoken about, that you admitting, okay, I'm a honest person. I'm very good in, let's say, accounting, in programming, in time management, and networking skills. All of these type of things, if you really have it, you need to acknowledge it and say it out loud and not be afraid that no people will know it. No one will know it. You need to tell and be proud of these type of characteristics. And this is what Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he trying to do, which is he was in prison, but even though he get out of the prison, he didn't feel or he didn't embody the victim mentality, feeling like, oh, I got in prison out of injustice, I was expelled and my brother threw me in the well and so on. No, he tried to see what type of opportunity that he has and he tried to take it out. So he felt that the king now he has a positive image about him, and he liked him, and he said, okay, I want to hire you. And then at the same time, he saw the qualities that he has, that Allah has given him, and he said, okay, I'm gonna take a chance, and I'm gonna ask for what I believe that I deserve. And because of that, he asked, okay, I'm not gonna be an only like someone in a normal position. No, I want to be in a higher position. And he gave him the reasons why. He gave him why I'm asking for this type of position. So he told him, Inni hafidun ali. That means that I'm more suitable for this position because I have these certain type of qualities. Okay? So again, the more you know yourself, the more you know what type of qualities that you have, the good qualities and even the bad qualities. Like for example, if someone is they don't have a good time management, then maybe they're not suitable for certain type of jobs or positions. And it's not wrong to be admitting on the lacks or the flaws that you have. It's totally fine. You can master certain type of things of positions, and you cannot master or you can fail on different type of things. But being honest of your capabilities, of the qualities that you have, is will lead you to be more trusted, and it will help you to put in the right position that's more suitable for you. Okay. But in the other ayah, and subhanAllah, as we mentioned, now we're gonna see the rewards. Like after so many years of Yusuf alayhi salam's trying to be patient, having trust in Allah that Allah will clear his name. You remember when we talk about like how Imra'at al-Aziz, the wife of al-Aziz, said that I'm the one who seduced him. He didn't do something wrong. After a couple of years, and he has this kind of trust of Allah that Allah will show his innocence, that he didn't do something wrong, and he was patient and he trusted that eventually the true will come out, and the reward of his patience, he will get that reward after so many years. So then in the other ayah, Allah is saying, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. كذلك, this word is like, this is how we establish, this is how. It's like Allah is telling you, and this is the result. It's like, you know, when the story is going through, it's like Allah is telling you why all of these events happened to Yusuf alayhi salam. And this is we're gonna show you why we arrange this type of event that Yusuf alayhi salam need to go through to reach this certain type of status, to reach this certain type of reward. So subhanallah, Allah is arranging this story to for you to know the reasons behind everything. And uh, uh, it's like he will not give you this wisdom at the beginning. You need to watch it. Like people who listen to the story in the beginning, they feel like, oh, this is so hard. This is such a miserable life. Like his brothers threw him in the well, and then he was bought as a abd, and then the wife has accused him, and then he was in prison, and then his friend in the prison forget about him for a couple of years, even though he helped them. So you feel like it's so hard, but then at the end now Allah is telling you why all of that happened. Okay, and then makanna, again, makanna is coming from makan. Makan in English is place. So makanna, it means as a tamkeen, when we mentioned earlier, is like you get that authority or power over the place. Okay, and that means is like anything you want, you will be able to get. Anywhere you go, you will be able to manage. Everything is comes to you. Whatever you want, you can get. So it's like it's coming from a very higher degree of power, authority, blessing, rewards, and all of that. Okay. يتبوأ منها حيث يشاء. يتبوأ, it means like he can settle down, or he can go, or he can use anything he wants, whatever he wish for. Okay. نصيب برحمتنا من نشاء. And here we give our mercy whoever we want. And نصيب هنا is very interesting word, by the way. نصيب is like a more of like shooting, you know? It's not like giving. Giving is like أخذ, إعطاء. ونعطي مثلا. Allah could say like ونعطي من نشاء رحمتنا. But here he said نصيب. It's like you're striking something. And I don't know, it's a lovely thing when you see it. Striking is like a more of violence, but then Allah is saying we strike with our mercy whoever we want. So I feel that it's more interesting how Allah is using certain type of words, especially of describing how Allah. I feel it's like a more related to fast. نصيب به من نشاء is like a more faster than we give أو نعطي برحمتنا, let's say. So I think this is a very interesting one to think about and to reflect about, and to see how this could how could this help us to get to know Allah more, to get to be more familiar of Allah more. And it's very important to be focused on even certain type of words. And this is like the Quran. This is the miracle of Quran, that nothing just normal, not any ayah is just that's it. The more you dig deep, the more you see there is different meaning that's really mind-blowing when you think about it. So yeah. Okay. ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين. And we will never lost the ajr, or the thawab, or the reward of the good people. Muhsinin is the one who do good stuff, but ihsan is like doing better. It's not the normal good deeds. It's like ihsan is the more higher degree, you know? Ihsan is like doing good, but it's in a better, with extra degree. Okay? And here again, Allah is trying to tell us that if you are doing good deeds, if you are seeing yourself that you're doing something that Allah is satisfied on, be patient. Do not rush the reward, because Allah is telling you here. It's like don't be afraid. We never lost, or we would never not give anyone his reward. So again, this story is telling us, like, even if someone is going through struggle, or even someone is feeling that al-fath, let's say, or the hardship that he went through is gonna go, when it's gonna go away, Allah is telling them, wait, and you will be able to get these type of things if you wait, and don't lose hope. Don't be feeling that, okay, because it has been so long, then you feel, okay, I will never get that reward, I will never get over this type of hardship, or so on. But it's not. And again, all of these surahs and ayah, Allah is trying to remind us, see, even Rasul sallam, or Yusuf alayhi salam, he went through through things might be much harder than what you are going through, but eventually see how Allah reward him. So it's a good reminder to keep in mind. Okay? Then in ayah number 57, Allah is saying, وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Okay? So here Allah is saying that, and the reward of the life after is actually better. So for people who trying to get the reward, or to get the result of the things they work for in dunya, Allah sometimes will give you this one. But even if you didn't get it, Allah is telling you that the reward in the life after is gonna be better. Better than whatever reward you're waiting in dunya. So this type of thing is another thing to start to think about, is that as we mentioned before, is like um, there is one discussion I think in the group regarding, we talk about the delayed gratification, which is um, like in general in the Quran there is lots of ayah Allah is telling you wal akhiratu khayrun wa abqa, is the life after is much better, is the one that lasts longer, the one that you should focus your effort more than getting the rewards in dunya. And when we relate it to the psychological theory, there's a theory called or study they did regarding delayed gratification, which is the marshmallow experiment. When they give the kids this type of one piece of marshmallow, but they told them if you wait for a couple of hours and you didn't eat that marshmallow, we're gonna give you two. Okay, and they did the experiment for a couple of kids, and then some of them they eat it directly, they didn't wait, and the other one waited and they got the reward. So then they did that same study after they on the same kids, when or again they tried to follow these kids till they became grown up, and then they found out the more successful, or the one who get more successful in life, is the one who have this type of delay gratification, which is they didn't eat the marshmallow in the beginning. And again, like there is a wisdom behind why Allah is trying to tell us focus in the life after, focus in al-akhirah, don't focus in dunya. Allah's trying to tell us that you gonna get better. Don't be blinded by the blessing I give you in dunya. I give it to you. You can enjoy it, but don't make it as your main goal. Don't make it as your main purpose, because this dunya is gonna finish. It's temporary. So it's you're not gonna stay here. Everyone's gonna die. Everyone have this type of his life story, his script, the one you're gonna live, let's say how many, 90 years, 80 years, 100 years, or so on. But the life that you will not have this type of years, you will have endless amount of time to live in, is the life after. And this is what you need to focus on more. And this is what Allah trying to tell us in different type of ayahs, that the more you waited to get your reward in the life after, the better the reward you can get. So it's a good to have this type of mentality or a mindset whenever you think about it. Okay? خير للذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. So it's far better for those who are faithful and mindful, or who have taqwa. And one thing I want to draw your attention of is the meaning of taqwa. It has been mentioned many times in Quran, and it's very important to look for it. So taqwa in general is like trying to avoid getting something harmful, let's say. So al-muttaqeen, it could be one of the meaning, one of the interpretation of the meaning is like who are trying to avoid going to hell. Okay? And the other meaning of it, one other meaning is like how to prevent your harm to other people also. So taqwa is like you're preventing something. Tuqa is like you are trying to protect other from whatever evil you have, whatever something that could have harmed them. At the same time, if like when we talk about it in a more general way, so you try tattaqi nar, which is trying to avoid getting to the nar, which we called it, or the jahannam, which we called it is more like something very harmful if you end up in hell and so on. So there is different type of meaning and different type of interpretation of al-muttaqeen, or what type of kind of acts that al-muttaqeen do to be called al-muttaqeen, like the group of al-muttaqeen. And I think it's a very, very a plus thing to be part of the muttaqeen, because the reward mentioned in different type of ayah related to muttaqeen is so beautiful. So one of the ayahs saying, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, and who have tuqa, who are doing taqwa, Allah will give him an exit of anything he's going through. So, for example, if you go in a struggle, if you are one of these muttaqeen, Allah will give you the answer, the opening doors, the things to get out of this difficulty. And then he said, اجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث يحتسب, and he will give him rizq from places that he never know. So it's an interesting one to look into it and search for it and see how you can be part of al-muttaqin. Inshallah, all of us will be one of them. Okay, let's see. But in the other ayah, Allah is saying here, وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُفَ فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَعَرَفَهُم وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. And now we're going to enter a different part of Yusuf's story, alayhi salam. Here, all the country, they start to know that there is going to be a 7 years of good planting, good harvesting. But after the 7 years, there's going to be a difficult year, okay? So that's why lots of people used to come with their camels to get food and so on, and go back to their, let's say, cities or so on, because the situation, the economic status at that time was very difficult, okay? And they heard that the minister, let's say, or the one who's in charge for the financial affairs, let's say, or for the safes or distributing food, he was very honest person, and he was a generous one who was like giving everyone equally. So he used to give them food with, for each person there's like a certain amount of food, let's say he will give to them for each family, okay? So at that time, the brother of Yusuf, they went out to get their portion of the food that will be enough for them for the rest, let's say, of weeks, months, or years, or so on. So when they enter, Yusuf alayhi salam acknowledged them. He know them, okay? But they didn't know him, okay? And one of the reasons is that when he left him, he was so young. So now he's grown up. So definitely his feature has changed. Like they wouldn't recognize him. But he left them when they're already grown up. So he was able to recognize him. The other reason is that they were more focused on getting their stuff, getting the food, and not focused on, let's say, the minister or the one who's in charge. But for him, he was very aware and he saw them and recognized him. Okay, at that time, before we go much deeper in the story, this is the beauty, subhanallah, and the wisdom that Allah gave Yusuf alayhi salam. He didn't start to accuse them. He didn't start to blame them. He didn't start to confront them. He decided to wait and let's say it's not playing a small game, but he was like more thoughtful of his action, of what's he gonna do. And now we can see what type of things, what type of tactics that he used to go to be able to be reunited with his brother and his family and so on. And then ولما جهزهم بجهازهم قال ائتوني بأخ لكم من أبيكم. Okay, so when he prepared them, so they used to come with them. Let's say if the family is like 10%, they need to bring, let's say, 10 camels, and they will fill the whole camel, okay, with food, let's say. So this is how they used to do it. So for example, they were 11 and they brought 11 camels, but they didn't brought his brother. So he started to be suspicious. He said, why you're bringing, let's say, 11 camels, but you're only 10? So at that time, he start to tell them, like, I cannot give you the 11 camels weight, or let's say the food, until your brother come with you, or someone else, the one you're assuming that you have another person at home, bring him as a proof, and I will give you um, the package, let's say, of 11%. So قال ائتوني بأخ لكم من أبيكم is like, bring the brother from your father, bring him to me. If you are honest, bring him to me. ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير المنزلين. He told me, don't you see that I'm a very I give the full measure. I'm a very trustworthy, that I will give, like, I will not give you less than what you deserve. So وأنا خير المنزلين, I give you the best hospitality. So what he did is he tried to treat them very well. So they usually take the night out, like they sleep there, because like the distance of traveling all this time. So he tried to be very nice and kind toward them, to gain their trust. Okay, and after that he showed them that, just bring me that brother that you have, and I will give you the full amount you want. Again, even though with all of these struggles that he went through, he chooses to do ihsan. He chooses to treat them better. He chooses to not reciprocate whatever, like, the harm that they caused to him, but he chooses to treat them well. And this is ihsan. Or there's an ayah, I forget exactly what is it, but the meaning of it is like يدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة. That means if someone did the bad thing, this is one of the characteristics of certain type of believers, is that they reflecting with the bad deeds. If someone did bad deeds, they reflected with hasana, with something good. They don't give the same. They don't try to harm other people or do other people, because in general, our relationship, like when you think about it, we are trying to have our intention, or let's say concentrate of like dealing with other people toward what Allah told us to do. Like, if I'm gonna be good person toward this person, because I want Allah to be satisfied on me, I want to apply whatever Allah told me, that وَأَحْسِنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. That means do good deed, because Allah loves the one who do good deeds. So when you're trying to deal, or in any type of relationship you want through, try to deal with them thinking of, I'm doing this, I'm doing ihsan, I'm doing not harming you or causing anything bad or trying to make you feel sad or any type of things, because of Allah. Because I want Allah to be more satisfied. I want Allah to reward me. And there's another ayah, it's a very interesting ayah in relationships also. Uh, it's called إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. I forget what is the context word, or what, in which story or which surah it has been mentioned, but the meaning of it is إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله, that we only feed you seeking Allah's face. Okay, or in another way, like seeking Allah's رضا, let's say. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا is that we don't ask for a reward or being grateful for us, or having shukr, let's say. And I love this ayah because if you use it as a motto in your life, as something you remembered whenever you deal with anyone, even like with the people that you feel they are so unpolite, or like they are trying to have bad intention toward you, when you remember this ayah, is like, I'm gonna go deal with them, or deal with them nicely for Allah's sake, and I don't want a reward, or I'm not gonna expect that they need to deal with me the same, Because if you have your intention in Allah, that the reward you're going to get it from Allah, you stop having this type of expectation from other people. And in psychology in general, the more you have expectation on people, the more people will disappoint you. But the more you have expectation from yourself and from Allah, you will never be disappointed, because you have control over yourself. You want to be a better person. You expecting yourself to be, let's say, a good person, to stick with to achieve certain type of stuff and so on. It's good to have this type of expectation toward you. But when you're expecting something from other person, you cannot control it, because it's not in your hand. Everyone has his own thoughts and idea in life. You cannot force someone to fulfill your expectation. So the safe way is, the better way is, do not have expectations of other people. Have expectation of yourself on them. Okay? And this is what we call it's also related to different type of attachment styles. The more you have expectation, the more you will have attachment, and the more you will struggle. The more you get attached to anything beside Allah, you will be tortured. So again, this is another story I talked about previously. There was a one workshop I did about attachment. But anyway, we can go very deep in it. But now let's go back and focus on the story. Okay, let's see. طيب, in the other ayah, Allah is saying, فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي بِهِ فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ. So if you didn't bring your brother, you will not have, next time, you will not have your portion of the food, let's say. And don't get closer to me. So he tried to warn them that if you didn't bring your brother, you will not have a next time. Don't come to me next time. And all the country used to come to him to get that food or that portion of groceries and stuff. Then they told him, قالوا سنراود عنه أباه وإنا لفاعلون. So they said, we will try to convince his father to let him come with us, and we're gonna do our best. Let's say we're gonna do it. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so you can feel a little bit of hesitation, but anyway, they told him we're gonna try our best, because they know that this brother, the brother of Yusuf was also close to his father. If you remember the beginning of the story, we mentioned, and when they told him, like, you love Yusuf and more than us, so they already know that they have different, let's say, relationship, or they don't feel the same love from their dad. But we're gonna see the plot twist here. Again, if we're gonna continue the other ayah, we're gonna see something very beautiful, by the way, regarding this type of relationship between the father and his sons. Okay. وقال لفتيانه اجعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون. Here Yusuf عليه السلام ordered his boys or servant to put his money and his food, let's say the things, their baggage, and their camels. Okay? Maybe they will recognize it if they turn out to their family. And maybe at that time they would believe him more, and they would want to go back and get more. لعلهم يرجعون. So he again trying to do other techniques to let him go back to him with his brother and his father. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون. So when they went back to their father, they said, our father, our kale, um, mm, the supplies that we used to get has been uh, denied for one of the this one. So please send us our brother, so we will get our supplies and food, and we are وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظِينَ, and we are definitely gonna watch over him. So again, this one, when you think about it, it's like they remember what they did with Yusuf alayhi salam. So they anticipated that their father's gonna refuse, because they say the same thing when he told him, okay, bring Yusuf alayhi salam يرتع ويلعب, and وإنا له لحافظون, we're gonna watch him. But eventually they didn't came back with him. So again, it's like the story is returning itself again. So here يعقوب عليه السلام is saying قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل. He said, like, should I trust you with him as I once trusted you with his brother? فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. Again, here يعقوب عليه السلام is doubting. He's still not feeling fully assured to send his brother, but his son. But he start to see the bigger picture. If they didn't go there and get the supplies or get the food, they will starve for a long time. So the harm is much bigger than, let's say, if they took his brother and he got lost, but all of the family later on will not be able to have food for the rest of the years, the other difficult years. So here he started to have more faith in Allah and said, فَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ حَافِظًا. Allah is a better protector, or the best protector. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الراحمين, and He's the most merciful of the merciful. أرحم الراحمين. Rahimin is the plural of merciful people, so He is the most merciful of all of them. And this is a good thing to think about, how to have trust in Allah, that sometimes you get afraid that something can be lost, or something can be, you're afraid of something. But then when you remember that one of the name of Allah is Ismullah al-Hafiz, the most protected, the most protector, and you use it in your dua, or use it in tasbih, or use it just calling Allah with that name, and you gain power from this, you gain assurance, you gain safety from this name. And this is what Yaqub alayhi salam tried to do, is to try to remember that Allahu khayrul hafidhin, Wallahu khayru hafidh, that Allah is the one who's gonna protect them, even if they intended to do bad stuff to him, even if they choose to do anything for their brothers. But Allah is bigger than them, and He is the most protector. So He is the one. In Allah I will put my faith. In Allah I will increase believing of that Allah will protect him whatever happens to him. So it's a good thing to think about them anytime you went through life and you are afraid of something that could hurt you, something bad could happen. Any type of situation, you can use Ismullah al-Hafiz. You can use, you can do dua, you can do tasbih. It's like activate Ismullah al-Hafiz, the most protected in your life, in any type of thing. Plus, doing your dhikr, daily dhikr and so on. But this is one of the way that, because Allah is telling us to call Him with His name. Allah is telling us to use His name. So this is one of the names that you really can use when you feel afraid, when you feel terrified, when you feel that you don't feel safe. You feel that you cannot predict something in the future, or you're afraid something will happen. This is the name that you need to activate at that time. And this is another way of doing tawakkul, by the way. It's like sometimes people feel it's difficult to do tawakkul, which is like relying on Allah and just give Him the whole control, or let's say, sometimes we feel like we have the power, or let's say we have this control over our life. The more you believe and see that this control is actually in the hands of Allah, the more you have tawakkul. And there is different meaning of tawakkul, but in general, it's like you're removing the authority or the control from your hand, because this is like a fake control, and you just believing that Allah will guide you and will arrange anything in your life in the best way, and He will choose the best thing for you, and just like handle or get everything from your space to His space, and having this type of tawakkul. This is it's a very relieving thing. And then how to do this one if you don't believe that Allah al-Hafiz, if you don't believe is that Allah is the most protector, is the one that He will protect you from anything harm. So the more you get to know Allah better, the more you will be able to surrender to Him. The more you will have tawakkul, the more you will start believing more on the names or the things that Allah is capable to do for you. Okay, I think we're gonna take this last ayah and then we can wrap it up, because there is many details in this, but it's so interesting. And every time you read it, every time you find out there's different secrets behind it. And this is the beauty of Quran, subhanallah, and this is the miracle behind it, is that it's not only suitable for every time and place, but the more you read it, the more you look for answer, the more Quran give you the answers. And subhanallah, this is why Allah said الذين آتيناهم الكتاب. So there is different type of الذين أوتوا الكتاب, الذين آتيناهم الكتاب, أهل الكتاب. There's different meanings for the people who got the kitab, the book. The book could be one of the books of the holy books before, or it could be Quran. It depends on which surah it has been mentioned, or which the way that has been mentioned. But anyway, the more you get connected to Quran, the more it gives you its secrets. The more it opens your mind to different type of meaning that really can benefit you in your life. So just be patient and try to be more connected to Quran, and try to be open to receiving this type of knowledge and blessing. طيب ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم. So when they opened their packages, they found out that their supplies have been put in there, they already got it. قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونمير أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير. So when they found that they have their own supplies, that Yusuf alayhi he put their supplies and their camels and so on, they told their father, okay, we don't need, this is our supplies has been returned to us, and in this way that we can get a more of that supplies if we went out with our brother, and obtain an extra camel load of grains and food and so on, because ذلك كيل يسير, because the one we got it's so less, it's not that much, and we know we're gonna need it because we have long time, or let's say we have a very difficult years is gonna come to us. So they wanted to get more. Okay, let's take one more ayah. قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتوني موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل. Here he said, and here's see how smart Yaqub alayhi salam. So it's good to learn from our mistakes. It's not a mistake again, but it's good to be aware, not to fall in the same thing twice. So here he said, okay, I'm gonna send him to you. He said, I'm not gonna send him to you until you give me موثقا من Allah. It's like a موثقا, how can I say it? Let's say ميثاق. ميثاق in Arabic is like a very strong contract. Not a verbal contract, but it's like a promise, but a very strong one. Okay? And min Allah. So you need to promise toward Allah that you're gonna bring him back to me unless something out of your hand happened to him. Okay? فلما آتوه موثقهم, so they give him at the time when they give him this موثق or this promise, قال الله على ما نقول وكيل. So here he said, okay, then Allah is witnessing what we have said. And wakil here, it comes from اسم الله الوكيل. And remember when we talk about tawakkul? Tawakkul ala Allah al-wakil. So again here, he's using the name of Allah, that Allah is the one who's taken in charge for the thing that I cannot do anything about. Allah is the one, I'm releasing all the burden that I have of thinking I got things in my hand or I have the control of it, and I'm give it to Allah al-Wakil. I'm doing tawakkul to Allah al-Wakil. So again, this is very nice two names of Allah, al-Hafiz and al-Wakil. And it's so beneficial to use it at the time we need it. It's so beneficial to always be abdan mutawakkila, that you always let anything you think about or your burden or the thing that you cannot do anything about into Allah al-Wakil. Okay? And you can do also dua of asking Allah, how can I be abdan mutawakkilan? Like, how can I have more tawakkul in our life? How can I have tawakkul on the things I don't know what to do with? And there's certain type of forms, or let's say, of how to shape the dua, but the more you think about it, the more you embed it in your lifestyle, the more you see the effect of it, the more the things might happen in your life without even planning, just because you start to activate tawakkul in your life. You start to see things happening to you without making any effort. Start to see things that has been resolved without you trying to do any type of things or integrate or trying to do something, because you have tawakkul. Here Allah took the charge of solving the things that's happening to you. He's already the one in charge, but the more you have this intention, the more you have this awareness of, okay, I don't know what to do in this situation, I'm gonna do tawakkul to Allah and Allah will take care of it. And it's so relieving. It's so nice to have this type of sensation, is that some of the things it's not in our hand. And even if we think it's in our hand, it's actually in Allah's hand. So always remember and go back to the original source of the things that happening in your life. Okay, so we gonna stop till here. Yeah, because the other one, it's gonna be a different part of the story when they go there, and then like we're starting to get to approach the end of the story, and all part of it is so beautiful, subhanallah, yani all of it is so interesting. But we can have the rest of it inshallah next week.